So um, it helps us.
Yes. I
Motivate
just
us.
want to, I'm going to absolutely, Isabel, if you can hold that thought for a second, I just want to introduce the group really quickly because I forgot to do so. So this is the Miracle Mind Meetup. We meet every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and bringing whatever is true to the spirit, to the moment. And right now, this is exactly what we're doing. Um, we are, of course, using the principles, the teachings of A Course in Miracles. And many times I feel inspired to read the book, and many times certain things come up, and we are talking about that exactly now. How, you may have a plan, but you always stay open to the plan of the spirit, right? Or you check into that guidance and see what's being really called. And although I have a section in the book that I feel really called to do right now, and you guys are all joining, Mike and I were having a little conversation, and it led to this idea of, forgetting, and how forgetting is something that we get judged upon in society. Like when we forget to do something, and to be fair, if we're really busy and multitasking and stressed, and then we did so much, and then we didn't, and then we forgot what we did in the day, that's a very different energy of what we're talking about forgetting. Because as you go more into presence, as you go more into living a life of more spontaneity, of more guidance, of really checking in, is this true to me? Is this not true to me? Do I want this? Do I want to join? Right? The more we live into, we check in, the more present we are with what's around us, with how we show up, with what we want to choose and be a part of. And as we do that, we also begin to let go of, the what has happened. Like we forget. So I asked Mike, what did you guys do this Sunday in the Miami ACIM group? And he's like, that wasn't that long ago. He's like, I don't remember. And I love that answer, because we should have the right, and we should celebrate having lived the moment and also having let it go and being here now. And so, yes, this is the topic that has spontaneously come up. And Isabel was talking about her experience with that as well.
I remember this movie. Don't remember the name, but I remember the experiences in the movie where this lady was abused by the mother, by the husband of the mother. She had two babies. One also, came out with disabilities, and she wanted to succeed in life, and she couldn't. The obstacles, the financial struggles and stuff. But at the end, we see how she got the help from the school and some help for the kids. And at the end of the movie was when she opened the door, and one of the things that she said at the end was, "Thanks God, there is a new day."
Mm.
Was like, the past yesterday is gone. The only real thing is now that we have is today. Today in the memory, today in the presence, today in the now. Starting new, like a
Yes.
new blank slot. Yeah.
Slate,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah.
good.
Let me mention something. There is a part in the Course in Miracles where it says that forgetting is a way of remembering better. And
Mm.
what it's talking about
I
is
love that.
forgetting our perception of the
Mhm.
past. Oh, this is, this happened because of
This
this.
is what happened.
Is
Yeah.
for, taking a look. Oh, I see it differently now. Yeah, it's not that we forget what physically happened. It's we forget our perception. Maybe, oh, that was terrible. I look back and, oh, well, that's something that happened. It helped me to see this.
Mm.
Forgetting is a way of remembering better. Forgetting our previous perception, not hanging on to it, just being able to look at it from the present.
Right.
I can have a new perception of what happened.
Yeah. Like
The
a
the action, the event was the same, but I see it differently now.
Yeah, it's like a reinterpretation of the spirit, right? Like seeing
Yes,
it
yeah,
through the light of
yeah,
love. And
yeah.
yeah. And that's the miracle. With a shift in
That's right.
perception, that's it.
That's right.
It's like boom, the light comes, hits that memory or that moment in time,
Hmm.
and it changes it completely. And our DNA, literally our biology changes in reaction to it. We become
Yeah.
new in relation to this moment or to this person because we have now shifted internally. And isn't that beautiful? I love that we're talking about this. Because this is a huge part of what the course is teaching, how the past repeats itself because we hold on to interpretations, because we hold on to memories. And by holding on to those energies, to those thoughts, we bring them into the present when they're not really in the present. We've chosen to carry them over like bags, you know? There's a very famous song by Erykah Badu called Bag Lady. And it says, bag lady, you gon' miss your bus. Hang like carrying all that stuff. You're gonna miss your bus carrying all your stuff because you're trying so hard to keep the bags that the bus is gonna end up going. You're carrying too much. And yeah, it's a great song. That lyric just came. But something else that this topic brings me to is the idea of Alzheimer's, dementia, which I think has such a tainted, negative, harsh perspective on this, this degrading, let's say, of the mind, of neurons, of connectivity that happens when the body is also in degradation, and people suffer a lot with people who are in Alzheimer's. And this is in no way to diminish the difficulty that it can be to have a family member, suffer from dementia or begin the onset of things like dementia and Alzheimer's and everything that entails. But I think that we can miss a really, really beautiful core aspect of what Alzheimer's and dementia can teach us. I had a student, it was a language student, but then, it became like spirituality / language student because I taught languages for many years, but she was very much into spirituality. Actually, she was a big example for me, side note, of being able to practice yoga. And she was Catholic, so Christian. Christ was her thing, but she loved yoga and she practiced it every morning. And this was in the time when I was doing yoga, but it was before my awakening. And somehow it called me to see a person who was like, I am all about Jesus. Like I meditate and I say the Christ, like she would say Christus, Christus, because this is in Germany. And then she would also do her yoga. And for her, one could not live without the other. And so it was like, wow, what an example this lady was for me. And we got along so well. And in that, she shares how her father was suffering from dementia and things, she would always share because it was conversational English. So she would share her days and how hard it was. And, it was difficult. Specifically, her relationship with her dad when she was young was very difficult. It was not her favorite person. She had a lot of bad memories from her and her father. And now she's decided to take care of him in a moment where he's losing memory, right? But how interesting, and this was a huge lesson for me to see actually the beauty in Alzheimer's and dementia, because he forgot the relationship that they had. She didn't, right? She was still carrying it, but slowly he forgot. And he also forgot the character that he was and all the things that made him strict and believed that he had to be the way he was with his daughter. And he became a child, a happy, joyful, grateful child that would pull her in and try to dance with her, that would, be so happy to see her. And slowly but surely, it also melted her heart because she had never experienced her father this way. And so this is all just to say, he released the past. And now it was just her. Now she had a conscious choice to make, to release the past or not release, and keep his memory and look at him the way she thought he was. But that man was no longer there.
Now, when one of them, in the Course of Miracles says, with one of us that aligns your mind, the other one doesn't have, the partner to dance the drama. So
right.
he becomes aligned, he becomes nice, doesn't remember the past, doesn't bring the past to the present. The other one that's like, oh, you're nice. Oh, let me hug you. Let me love you. That's the next option, It's like, okay, beautiful. And how
Yeah.
good it is when we consciously do that to start new today, fresh, to embrace the moment. Let's move forward. Like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? No, what was yesterday and before yesterday and last season and on my birthday and like, sometimes regretting things, and in reality, everything was supposed to happen the way it's supposed to be. We're in the right place at the right moment. Right, Sulma?
Like right now.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Okay. I
absolutely.
like that smile.
Beautiful.
Hola familia, hello family.
Hi,
Hola,
Jonas.
mi
Hi,
querida.
hi.
Welcome, welcome. And welcome, Jonas, too. I know he's been listening
Mike.
as we were saying, but welcome.
Mike
You
is
know what you were
Beautiful.
Thank you.
describing, Isabel. The course calls it clinging to the shadows of the past.
Mm.
Oh, I used to do that. I used to do that all the time.
Oh no, not
You-
me, not
no,
me.
no,
You know,
no,
it's
no,
only you. It's
no.
only you.
How are you?
Did it? I was absolutely the victim of the world I saw, man. I was and all the time.
Well, I'm typing it. I'm clinging to the shadow of the past. Wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful image. And Zuma, we're talking about, what the gift of forgetting, because, and in this society, like forgetting is like, oh, you're so forgetful. It's a bad thing. It's like this thing and the more we go into presence, we start forgetting things that we did 3-4 days ago, not from a place of stress because we weren't paying attention, but because we really just kind of let it go. We live the moment, and there's a beauty in that. And what I was saying, we were talking about Alzheimer's. What I was saying is that, back to the story of my student, that in that Alzheimer's and in that forgetfulness of who he was and how he treated his daughter, and now his daughter's taking care of him, and she's carrying the story, but he's no longer carrying the story. He's literally, what he's saying is, I love you now. This is what he's saying. Like, I am here now. I love you now. Will you join me now? Right? Not our history, not everything I was, because that's not here now. And so it's like, oh, I love you now is a breaking of chains. It's a breaking of the shackles. Even in a personal relationship, a marriage of 40 years, I love you now, right? In a new relationship, 6 months, 2 months, I love you now. And it's like, it really releases these chains, because it's like a choosing. It is an intentional love. And I just think it's so beautiful. And so that goes in line with this idea of forgetfulness. So, yeah. So beautiful.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to use that. I'm speaking on Sunday, and the theme for the month that the minister has at her center is letting love grow for February. Her theme is letting love grow,
Mm.
and my sub theme is going to be so much love, but that's SOW, so much love.
Mm.
Right. And
Beautiful.
it has to be now, because you have to sow in the moment. You have to do that right now. This is beautiful. I love that. I love you now. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna put that in there, and your
Yeah.
name will be in it. You'll hear it. Your name will be in there somewhere.
Oh my God. If it gets recorded, please share it with us, because we'd
Oh yeah, it's
love
recorded.
to
It's
be able
recorded.
to
I've
see
done that.
you and support you, and obviously just join you in that love.
Gracias. I'll do that. All right. Thank
For
you. Thank you.
sure. Yeah. I've honestly considered,
Red on you.
tattooing now, just on my Like just, a reminder when you're out of the now and then you look at your hand or you look at something and it says now. Are you in the now? a little reminder.
All I could feel is the pain of the tattoo. Man, I know. I've never done. I've gotten away with not having a tattoo for 69 years. I think I can go a little bit longer.
It's true. I've never gotten one. But I feel like a small little now. And there's like small little ones that I've considered. But anyways, yes. And so I love you now. What an invitation. Boom, again and again, right? Like even in a hard discussion, when you've decided to battle ego with ego, and then you make a new choice. And that choice, right? When you choose again, what you're saying is, I love you now. And I love now. I love now. And so I choose that now. And I shift. And that makes all the difference. Definitely as a parent, I can relate to that again and again of having chosen, to perceive the behavior or my interpretation of what was said and go into it and then be like, hold on. What do I really want in this? So beautiful. Yeah.
This is Valentine's week. Well, Valentine's week should be every day, every week. But it's
in the United States, yes.
Too many couples. No, in Peru as well. I don't know in Colombia.
Really?
But, yeah.
I don't think in Europe. Is it in Europe too, Jonas? Are they celebrating Valentine's Day over there?
I think we're kind of what is called like Mickey Mousing USA, we're trying to do
like
the same,
appropriating it, right? Yeah, taking it in. Yeah. So you see it in the stores, right?
I started a class.
I guess so.
An apologetic manifestation. And also Samir is in the class too, Mike. And one of the things that I want to manifest, in a more steady basis, it's love that stays and it's consistent. Because I can attract love like any one of us attracts love, but then something happens, either me or somehow it becomes unattractive, I will say. So the practice is to every day write it down what I want to manifest that day, what do I want to experience, and what I'm going to be doing to attract that. And my mind came, let me remove the shadows of the past, one of the topics that you mentioned, Sulma, or Mike, so I can, vibrate in a higher level. Because I was reading also that it's not about being good, a good person, giving, receiving, generous. It's about, because we can be giving and that, but still have these worries, anxiety, this vibration that is negative. However, we don't need to be that good and that generous, but we can vibrate higher. It's going to be kind, my voice, my listening, my presence. That's going to be attractive. That's something that people won't forget. Or if you have a relationship, it will, be sustainable. I was like, ooh, I many times worry about being a good person and not necessarily vibrating high, at a higher level. So it's a call. It was a call for me to see things different, I guess, and feel different, in that aspect.
I love that you mentioned that, Isabel, because I think it brings up this idea of how we pay attention a lot more to the form of how being generous and being kind looks like. So how it looks. And so we try to do the things that a kind person would do. And it doesn't mean that we're not kind inside, because just the idea of wanting to be kind means that mere kindness is wanting to show itself. But it is and when you talk about frequency, right, which is a term used a lot in the spiritual world, frequency, vibration, like an energetic term, this is a term that is reflecting the content. So not the actions, not the I'm doing the right things. I'm giving to the homeless man. I'm donating to the church. I'm showing up. Those are all the actions, but that's the form in which kindness can show up, in which love can show up, but it is not the content. The content is what you're talking about, which is the internal state, right? The internal state that we have, which then leads us to take action. And so working our internal state is all there truly is. And literally, the Course in Miracles is saying our internal state is based upon what is in the mind. What are the beliefs? What are the things? And that's why we vibrate higher when we heal. Healing is vibrating higher is the byproduct of healing, of looking at the mind, because the beliefs are in the mind, right? Because the memories, like you said, letting go of the shadows of the past, where are they held? In the mind. And so, yes. And it's interesting because the manifesting in and of itself, we're manifesting all the time. We are manifestors, right? We are creators. We are manifesting all the time. But we are manifesting depending on our interpretations. Our interpretations are manifesting our experiences. And our interpretations are the forefront of the beliefs that are behind them, right? The interpretation is how we see the world, but how we see the world is based on what we believe about the world. And what we believe is behind it. That's the hidden part, right? So coming to know what we believe about a person, about each other, about the goodness of the world, about attracting a partner, about what's possible, is really going to sort of show us more about what we allow ourselves to live, about what we don't allow ourselves to believe. And that in itself, like you said, becomes attractive. It becomes, we're naturally magnets to whatever it is we're that state internally. So beautiful that, you feel called to that and you can really go into it. In the end, like you said, it's not about the actions you take that make you kind, is the state of your heart, of your mind, a state of kindness, a state of receiving what's in front of you, right? Are you being kind to yourself when you see the thoughts that aren't so kind? That is the true kindness you want to cultivate, because that will be inevitably what shows, what the frequency will inevitably be raised, because you're accessing love on a consistent basis within you. And that is it. That's it.
Yeah, one of the things that sometimes we think we are easy to receive. People may think, oh no, I struggle to give, or no, giving for me is easy. Giving, what about receiving? Receiving compliments, receiving love, receiving a good morning, receiving a nice, I don't know, something nice that people send you. How receptive are we to this love? But not only receptive, acknowledging that it's something beautiful what you have sent to me. Acknowledging, giving the feedback of someone that has taken their time and thought of you and sending you something cute. Even a little, have a beautiful day, Sometimes we are called short of time. So we're talking about that receiving.
Yeah.
It's not that much of the giving. It's the receptiveness.
Yeah.
It's stuck sometimes. I need to open up and become more in the flow, right? Give and
And
receive
how many times do we want to say something to somebody like, you look beautiful today, or thank you for being here, or thinking of you, and we don't say it. We think it, but we don't share it. And in the sharing is the receiving also, because just by sharing, we feel the love, because that is when we choose to be the fountain of love, not the drain, but the fountain. And yeah, I think that's also a big act of like just showing up and saying, what we feel, whether it's to a person, to a stranger, you want to smile, they don't smile back. It's okay. You can still smile. Doesn't, Yeah. Sona, go ahead.
When I was a little thing, my mother told me,
Little thing, a little cute baby.
cuando yo era nena, mommy told me that we were standing at a bus stop. And I used to stare at people. I guess I kind of still do, but I used to stare at people. And she said that this man walked up, and I just looked up at him, and I just kept looking and looking and looking. And when he finally looked at me, I said, "Hello." Okay. And that has been, you talking about people don't say it? No, I do. I have a tendency. In fact, I used to think, is something wrong with me? That I'm
Mm.
inclined to say it. But here, and I get it today. So here's what I know today. I am love. And because I know that I am love and you are what I am, so that means that you are too. But I am love. I am lovable.
Hmm.
I am loved. And it starts from knowing that I am love. And because I know that, I have a reputation. You smile all the time, Zoma? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. It's just who I am, and it's what I do. Um,
Yes.
and it helps me because if you ask me how I'm doing, my answer. I'm well and wonderful. That's always my answer. Well and wonderful. Well and wonderful. And sometimes, the part of me is trying to catch up with that, right? But well and wonderful. And I put that out. It gets a smile. I smile, and then guess what? I'm well and wonderful. So it's yeah. I make that my habit. I've made that my habit, and I've done it from what mommy tells me ever since I was a little thing. Oh,
I
and
love that.
and
Beautiful.
um what you to your point, ladies, that the course says that what we do comes from what we think. It's not the doing first and then the thinking. We think, we feel, and then we do, and that's the order of it. Primero, the thought always comes first. Always, always. I'm complete.
Yes. That's it. And it goes back also to this idea of desire, right? We're being taught that behind those thoughts, I've desired for something. Excuse me. And so that desire, excuse me, in that desire,
Bless you.
thank you. In that desire, it's like, you know,
Mhm.
we don't know. Many times we have an unconscious, the desire is very much unconscious, right? And that desire is what is really bringing. So the course is taking us into a new desire, a true desire. Because basically he's saying you've desired something that's illusory to escape something that never happened. And now I'm trying to bring you back to your true desire, which is your wholeness, which is love, the state we're talking about, which is being a fountain, being a beacon. That is the state that you want to access. But I can't make you want it. But I can show you why you don't want what you think you want and then remind you of what you really do want. And then you can make your choice. That's how we're being led.
Mhm.
And it's just so loving and so beautiful. So, yeah, Jonas.
Yeah, wow. There are so many things I kind of could say and want to say, and I think one of them is like the Red Dragon. Yesterday, I listened to a new channeling there, and it was beautiful. And there's an energy that I feel it also now, and it's this. I just want to share it with you as well because it's so beautiful, and it's to allow the consciousness to sink into the heart of the earth and to fill us up with like a holy healing water and really purifying us, and then come up again with this as a full cup filled from that well, and then come up again and then share that water with the world. Whoosh, and I just feel it's so wonderful.
Beautiful. What an image of filling
Yeah,
up. Not even just a cup, it's like the earth. It's like this like we're planets, we are this
yeah,
earth, we are the
mhm,
ground. Beautiful.
yeah. And it's so funny because yeah, Yeah, I feel much better now that I guess, the difference between, for example, this meeting now and the past meetings for me is that now I finally allowed myself to just share spirituality in the way that I like to do it. So it feels so authentic that I could do what I just did there, close my eyes and talk about the dragon. That's what I like to do.
Of course.
And
Yes. I mean,
yeah.
you expose us to the dragons also. We
Uh-huh.
know that spirit can use dragons, angels, it
Uh-huh.
doesn't matter. And if dragons is your path, then that's okay. That's
Okay, thank you.
beautiful. It's bringing you back to the truth of who you are, right?
Uh-huh.
It's
Mm.
it's just another symbol,
Mm.
and a beautiful one. So,
Mm. And I also have a question.
mhm.
Because when it comes to guidance, it's still difficult for me to discern what is, for example, when I hear a no about to be practical, for example, going to Berlin on Tuesday. There is a shaman, and I have heard his name many times come up to me, and then we talked together, also send each other some messages, and he invited me now to Berlin to visit him on Tuesday. And I'm not allowed to go for the Danish system because now I receive money to be here. And so I have a no already there because, it's like it brings up fear for me to go, even though I could go without no one noticing. And the other thing is, like, I guess I just also like to be slow and to be in Denmark, and that I can rest now and all of that go slow. So it's like there's an inner no. There's an inner, like, no. And at the same time, sometimes there's also a yes. And so and it feels like the no comes from the body, and it's like, I want to go slow. I want to just, I want to be here. And I also know if I meet with him, it's not the red dragon. It's not to go slow. It's like he's gonna open up some things, even though we don't do any medicine or anything. So yeah, I suppose not only with him, and I'll try to speak from my heart now and not from my mind, but most things I have like a no initially. And then at some point, sometimes it opens up. But maybe I can just honor the no, I don't know.
I think you said it at the end. Honoring your I don't know, even if you have a no. You know, in my experience with guidance, there will be um, it takes, especially in this journey, if we want to be more truthful to what we truly want, not what we want in the moment or what we want to please another, right? Or what sounds fun in the context, but really you become more attuned the more you do it, the more you follow. And following means saying yes when it's a yes and saying no. And many times it's an I don't know, and sharing that it's not clear to me. Um, the beauty of being, for example, in different Course in Miracles circles, um, that has helped me learn to communicate that is really, people saying, I will pray on that. When something is offered to me and I am not sure, then I would say, I would hear them say it to me. So I could, I learned a way of communicating, like, that's not clear to me right now, or I will sit on it and see how I truly, let me check in with how I feel truly about it, or let me check in with the spirit. People have different words, right? And I will let you know. And that gives a buffer to the other person that basically says, I don't need to decide right now. And I'm not being forced to decide right now.
I'm also talking about like life decisions that, such as, for example, can I set up a concert where there's 100 people invited, and then there is this no because it's like I don't believe that the space that I create is pure enough or true enough, or that I am normal enough, or so it's like the beliefs, as we're talking about, is also
Right.
creating so much traumatic response and so much contraction.
Yeah,
that it
that's
can be
ego.
very, very difficult to
Right.
actually know what's the guidance. But then again, then the guidance is to wait till you have a clear answer and to work through and to look.
Yeah. Yeah, there is discernment about what is traumatic responses. You know, we sabotage ourselves all the time. So
Mm.
to understand, if I'm saying no because I'm afraid, then that's not a real spirit's no.
Mm.
Because if fear is involved, then it has nothing. This is when we're talking about guidance, in my experience, and I love to hear anybody else on the call what it's been for you, there has to be a sense of peace. Yeah? There has to be a
Peace,
sense
yeah.
of peace within the decision,
Mm-hmm.
the feeling of the decision,
Hmm.
right? And it's not, oh, I want peace, so I'm going to choose to not do this because that's going to bring me anxiety.
Hmm.
So I do this because it's going to bring me peace because I want to just, because that in itself is also voiding something where you could be, you're being led to. And so I think that there is a level of discernment, but I think more than anything, is this coming from fear? Because the ego's language is fear. I'm not good enough. This might not happen. I don't believe I can make this happen. That has nothing to do with guidance.
Hmm.
That is
Hmm.
everything before even guidance can hit you,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Sometimes, because it's the blockages and it's the blockages maybe to the experience that you do it anyway. If you feel guided to something, you do it. But you can notice that you won't do it because of results. You're paying attention to outcomes and you're stopping yourself from the action, from the guided action because of what you believe it will be the outcome. And that's not what we're guided to do. Guidance is never, you're going to know what the result is. Guidance is, I trust to take the action. Doesn't matter the result. If one person attends my workshop or 10, I do what I feel pulled to do because I have what's that saying by Maya Angelou? A bird doesn't sing because it has to, or a bird sings because it has a song.
Mm.
That is the only reason why it sings, because it has a song, not because it's thinking about who's listening or, the other birds and what they're doing. It sings because it has a song. And so if you feel to sing, if you're stopping yourself from singing because of external outcomes and possibilities, please know that that is not spirit. That will never be spirit's language. It will always be. So that's my take. But I would love to. I know Suma had her hand up, and if anybody else wants to share,
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. That whole thing about thinking that I'm not enough, that's already a place for me to look at my thinking differently. Of course, I'm enough. Enough of what? I mean, I'm complete. I'm a complete Sulma Gonzalez, and there's nothing, no one ever been on the planet, ever will be on the planet that is exactly like me. So there's nothing for me to compare myself to. I had to learn that. I had to learn that. Like I said, I used to hang out in the victim spot. But I had to learn that there is absolutely nothing to compare myself to. And I was talking about earlier about, that I speak to people that, and all that. I used to think, oh, other people don't do, but this is what I do, and it works. But anyway, and I accept it. But rather than tell myself that I'm not enough, I start from that place. I am loved. Back to that. I am love. That's what I am. It's not. I am peace. That's what I am. It's not as Steph just said. It's not what I'm looking for. It's what I am. It's already there. In fact, in the Bible, it often says, peace be with you. It's not saying find your peace, hold your peace, find your peace to hold it. It's letting you know you already have it. It's already there. It's already there. So it starts with what I tell myself, and I move forward from there. And yeah, walking into stuff, never ever know what the outcome. We don't know. We really don't know what the outcome is. We really ever don't ever know. Otherwise, that means that we're future tellers. We're not. We're not that. So we have to be in the moment. Remember that I am love now. Gracias for that stuff. And go and just keep and just go. And and you'll feel it. You'll know when it's right. If it's not right, and being careful that we don't let ourselves talk ourselves out of it, because the course teaches us the ego always speaks first and
Mm.
loud. The ego is always going to tell you, "Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm not. Oh, this, that." It's always going to put that limit on you. There's always that glass ceiling. And
Mhm.
as we realize that there is no there is no ceiling. There
Mhm.
is no ceiling. There are no limits. There are no limits.
Mm.
And are we going to make mistakes along the way? Say, oh, no, well, sure we are. And
Mm.
we call them mistakes, but it's really steps that lead us toward whatever our goal is. I mean,
Mm.
Edison did not make 999 mistakes before he got the light bulb right. Our star athletes, they weren't making mistakes. They were steps toward the goal. So, and that's the way you have to look at it. That's the way you have to look at it. That's because that's the way it is. That's the way life is. That's life, and that's what we are. We're life. In
Mhm.
form, we're life. I'm complete.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. And we don't back to this just, I mean, such a wise lesson. I do not know what anything is for. And that is so huge in guidance, in living a life guided by the Spirit, by Jesus, by love, ultimately. And that is, you know, I do not know what anything is for. If I feel pulled to something, I do not know what anything is for. If I end up at the bus station with this person, they start talking to me, I do not know what anything is for. Clean the slate again and again. And that's really the invitation of the Spirit. The Spirit's not concerned with the form of you getting 100 people to show up at the workshop, or you having, the Spirit's not concerned. The Spirit is concerned with our mind, the light of
Mm.
truth, purifying the beliefs that we think we are, that we think other people are, that we think people will do to us, that will affect us, will not affect us. That is what the cleaning is about. That's what the purification is about. And it's freeing us within our own curriculum. Each of us with a different curriculum. The content is the freedom
Mm.
within, all the same. Yeah.
The content, what is that?
So the content, the inside, right? Not the
Mhm.
form, not what you're doing, but what's happening in your mind, the state of mind that you're within. That is
Mm.
the content.
Mm.
That's what the Spirit works with,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, that's what David
It's
he also says in his book there, Unwind the Mind. Yeah, that's
yes,
where he got it.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Bringing not, I mean, I haven't read Unwind the Mind, but I have heard David talk a lot, and he does focus on that comparison between content and form. The
Mm.
ego focuses on the form, and because it's in the book, it's in the course, it's everywhere in the course. The ego will focus on the form, on the shapes, on the behaviors, on the actions. Spirit is focused on the content because it's where it's the cause, the
Mhm.
inside of what's happening. And the true content is that you're a child of God, that you are light, you
Mhm.
are love. That is the content. That's the
Mhm.
true content. And so that is where we work. We work at the level of content, not at the level of form. The form will
Mhm.
be given. And we enjoy the form. If this is supposed to be the next relationship I step into, then this is the form. But where am I focused on the form, on the bodies, on what's happening? Like, is that where my focus is? Is that where I'm identifying myself? Or am I focused on the content, on the Christ
Mhm.
essence, on the truth, on my mind? This is like the invitation again and again and again.
Mhm.
So,
And
yeah.
as soon as he said, I am love, that is the content. I am full of love. And it's, we are all. And I had this beautiful vision of like golden light filling me up from and everywhere inside the body. But the body just as a symbol for me, and it's like, it
Go
feels so good.
beyond. Mhm.
Feels so good to know that you are love.
Yeah. And when you know that state, that is the state where true guidance can come from. And even in the state of love, no's exist. Because from that state of love, certain things will feel, will vibrate, won't align with your state. And if that state is a state of rest and love, going out to a party or doing a 5-mile triathlon that somebody's, whatever it is, it's not going to align because you're in a state of love, in a certain state of being with that love. So it's not for you. And you say no. Does that mean you don't love them? Does that mean no, it's just not for me. You guys have fun. You do you. Love you. Sending you blessings. That's not for me. And it's that consistent, but you're in a state of rest. It's clear, that's not. So yeah, what Zulma's saying is beautiful because we want to bring ourselves back to the truth of what we know we are, of that true content. And then from there be like, okay, what's true to me? What do I truly want? And is this an expression of love? Is this an expression of, coming from truth, from the truth of me? And I don't need to know what it's for. I don't need to know what it's for. That is also, I think, freeing. So, yeah.
And that's key as you're talking about truth. It's coming from a place of integrity. It's coming from a place of integrity. And sometimes, what I say, you might not like it, but that's not what we're talking about. The bird, what you're talking about, the bird doesn't sing because it cares about what other people think about the song. The bird sings because it has a. I absolutely love that, and I forgot that one. I may have to use that too. Well, anyway, make sure I get a copy of this recording, Steph, because I'm gonna have to go later. But that's really key. It's coming from a place of integrity, from my true self. Do I want to? Do I not want to? Does this really feel right? And I'm not talking about the fear thing. Does this feel right to me? You all say you want to go skiing. I'll be at the bottom of the slope watching, cheering you all on. And someone is going to be upset because I'm not choosing to get on the slope too. But that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. I have my own journey. My journey is at the bottom of the slope, waving to all of you as you're coming, and it's okay for that person to be upset. It's okay. Yes and no are both informed answers. They're both informed answers. It's not no because I don't want. I sometimes for my birthday, I take myself to breakfast. I like to go alone to breakfast.
That.
And I have had a past tense, had a friend, well, I thought it was a friend, who got absolutely upset because, why didn't you call me? I said, well, because I wanted to be by myself. Yeah, but I would have paid for your breakfast. I understand that, but I wanted to be alone. And she took it to mean I didn't want to be around her. I didn't want to be around anybody except me. I wanted to be in my own thoughts. I wanted to have what they call a mindfulness meal where every mouthful I take, I get to savor and all that. That's where I wanted to be. And to this day, she and I were not, there's nothing because, she felt like I should have made my world hers or her. I had to include her and I didn't. But that was my choice. And so it is. And so it is. I'm complete.
Let me add something there. Here's two completely different decisions, okay? No is the total opposite of no, depending on where it's coming from, okay? No, I'm not going to talk to you because you're an idiot is the wrong decision. No, I'm not going to talk to you because peace is telling me that this is not, the right thing to do. That's the right decision. It all depends. Are you coming from a place of peace and from a place of I am here only to be truly helpful? Or are you coming from a place of I need to defend my story? Like I said, no is the total opposite of no.
Yeah. And that's a perfect example, Jonas, of form and content. The form is the yes or the no. That's what we hear, the words. But the content, and Mike is saying, the content is what matters. What is your state of mind? What is what I like to call like your posture, your internal posture towards the no? Where is the no coming from? See, it's not about the no. It's not about the yes. It doesn't matter, right? Because we don't know what anything is for. What the true concern of spirit and of ourselves ultimately is to come to be in integrity, right? To be truthful and to be at peace. And so it's coming from a place of peace. It's coming from a place of love and integrity and authenticity, right? We're just being authentic. This is it. And that's a huge part of the journey. I would say the spiritual journey is a journey of authenticity. Equally, a journey of humility. Like you can interchange humility, authenticity, and awakening. And for me, they are completely interchangeable. Because as you awaken, you become more humble. You have to be more humble to like, I know nothing. I truly need to be shown. And then at the same time, I have to be truthful to what's true to me right now. And that I think is also tough, especially if we've been people pleasers for most parts of our lives. So to free ourselves from the shackles of people pleasing, authenticity is a big step, because now either you choose integrity, you choose to be guided. You know, the spirit can't reach you if you're lying to yourself, because then that's private thoughts. You're holding grudges, you're holding things, and you're not releasing them. You're not bringing them out to the light. And there's so many parts in the text that talk about, if you don't bring it to the light, if you don't speak, if you don't share, or, you know, the spirit can't use it. It can't do anything with something that you're not willing to give up. So.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because it just occurred to me as we are speaking about these things that we are really setting intentions here. We are really setting intentions for the week here, and like highlighting which topics do we want to give our full focus this coming week. And for me, it's like when you say authenticity, it's like we're sharing a prayer here for stepping more into our strength and as authentic beings, and it feels very good. One last thing that I felt also to mention is this ability to accept the state of doubt, to accept this state we can be in when we are praying, and oh, what should I do? What should I do? And it's like I've come to a place now where it's like, okay, there is a part of me that would like to know and maybe is a little bit fearful. And so what? I'm still here. I'm still happy. And it's like, it's so nice that every moment can be used as a blessing now, even when it's a little, you know, when it's not, you know, when even when the mind is not like fully clear, but then look at that and accept that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's the humility, saying, okay, I don't know. And boom, I step down from the pedestal of trying to figure it out. Literally, that is the point. We've made up a whole world because we thought we knew. So that's, you know, the invitation to step down. And even in these micro moments is just, it takes away this weight of having to figure it out, of having to know, you know, because God's got your back, literally. You know? Yeah, trust fall. Boom. My daughter's like, Mommy, can you tell me trustful? And it's trustful, you know, like to literally fall back with your body and let someone catch you. You know, that's the invitation. But I love how you said, I put it in the chat. I love how you said, Jonas, we're sharing a prayer here. That's it. Our life is a prayer. These conversations are a prayer. We're just sharing a prayer, a reminder, an intention. Beautiful. And where two or more are gathered, you know, that's it. There I am. You know, it's interesting. I felt that we were going to read something today, but it doesn't feel like that is the energy for today. We can refer to the course, bring up moments or things that we know, but I don't feel to go into the reading today. We can, I mean, obviously it's already more than an hour into it. So clearly I'm not going to bring it in at the end, but I did want to show up that sometimes that's what's being given. And that's also taking a step back from the plan, or that was the message right in the beginning when Mike and I were talking. Mike has been, you know, hosting Course in Miracles group for many, many years now. And so, yeah, learning, that's another way of guidance, right? Like you bring something to the table, but you start to see how the discussion goes, the questions, someone comes into the room, with a tragedy, whatever it is, things show up and it becomes very evident that the conversation is flowing into something else. And to have the humility to say, Mark, we're going to put this aside. I trust this may be for another time. And I will show up to what's here is also
And that's
freeing.
believing that we never know what we don't know what anything is for. We have no idea what is going on. I have to take a phone call. My computer died. I had to
Oh,
get a
don't
new hard
worry.
drive. I'll be right back. I'm going to take this call.
Yeah, no worries at all. So yeah, I would love to ask you, Mike, like of maybe, I mean, I'm sure you've learned so much from hosting a group so ongoing, so ever changing, right? The people come and go and all. Like, what are one or two lessons that have really stuck with you from being a course teacher and holding a space for others around the principles of A Course in Miracles?
A couple of things. One is to trust that, that you will be guided. We were talking about this earlier, where all the groups on Sunday, you always have a plan. Okay, we plan to do this, but then you're open. If the group goes in a different direction, then you go, well, what, or you're guided to go in a different direction. You always make a plan, and then you're open to be given plan B if that's what needs to happen.
Mm.
You don't go and you don't do a group without having, okay, we're gonna do this if it works. If we're given plan B, then we follow plan B.
Mm. And what other, yeah.
Sometimes plan A is not to have a plan. So on Thursdays, from 9:30 to 10:30, I do a live presentation. It's called A Course in Miracles Meet Science of Mind and Other Metaphysical Teachings.
Mm.
I'm a licensed science of mind, religious science practitioner. Anyway, but I was a Course in Miracles student first. And for years, I've been saying, I'm going to do a workshop. I'm going to do a workshop. Well, that workshop has turned into over 2 years of me doing the live presentation on that. And there are times because, I'm looking for guidance, waiting for guidance, and nothing comes. And then I realized that the guidance actually is, okay, what as spirit gives it to me, that's how we're gonna go, and it happens, and it always works out. It always works out. Those are the recordings that I'll go back and listen to because I need to hear what was given to me during that
Mm.
time. No plan. I didn't have a plan, but again, here to be truly helpful. Step back and let God lead the way. And it works out. It
It
makes me laugh
does.
sometimes.
I think it's beautiful because when we talk about guidance, my favorite part about guidance is just being reminded that we're in a constant conversation with the divine and we're always being led. So like when we take the action, when we don't hear the response and we go anyway and we move and we trust, as we trust more, it's like you said, then we get a giggle because then we have the experience and we're like, oh, this is what was supposed to happen, or this ended up happening. And then it just gives you this little giggle of like, gosh, what was I worried about? Like what was, and I think that for me is like it's just a reassurance again and again of the miracle of ourselves, really, of the Holy Spirit's presence, of the light of truth in our mind, call it consciousness up until, because we know the Course talks about God being even beyond consciousness. And that is the true state of being. But consciousness, let's say, within this experience being the highest state within the dream, within the energy, that, it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful to, as we trust more and more, to really see. It's like if we're getting evidence, we're just getting more and more evidence of that we're being led and that all is well. Again and again. So
So my computer, let me talk about that for a minute, because my computer is one of my idols. My computer is one of my idols, right?
Mhm.
Fortunately, I use WhatsApp a lot, and I have it on my computer, my tablet, and my phone. That's a good thing. It's on all three, so that I send myself messages, and and I save things on a SD card. Anyway, um, over the last couple of days, my computer it came up saying preparing automatic repair. I didn't even know that my computer had that feature, but wasn't repairing. It would come back around, and it would say, we found a problem and we're going to restart your computer. And it said that like I'm going to say at least 30, 40 times over a day and a half period. I'm like, okay, this is I see what's happening here. And so I took the computer to the shop, and he said, well, it's either a software problem or a hardware problem. He said, it's probably a software problem. And I said to myself, no, this is a lesson for me. And it is absolutely a hardware problem. That hard drive is no more. Just saying it, I feel it in a place. And I don't know what I don't, this is the good thing about the Alzheimer's moment, if you will. I don't know
What's
what
in there? Mhm.
I've lost. I know what I've saved. I have external hard drives. I know what I've saved, including that talk for Sunday. That would be a heck of a thing, right? But um, but it's a lesson for me to remember that even those files, and this is the second time this has happened, that even those files, I remember doing a talk one time called Erasing the Hard Drive. Um, Even those files
Mm.
they represent the past. Every single thing that's going to be gone that's gone, it represents the past. We think with as far as the course, because I use the course referring about tangible stuff, because that's where my problem, quote quote, is. Um, just recognizing that the course teaches nothing survives its purpose. We have what we have for as long as we're supposed to have it, and then we have it no more. I first recognized that when my mother passed. I recognized it when my house got robbed 2 weeks in a row, things like that. Um,
Mm.
so I just needed to just to say that, because I'm about to. Well, I'm fortunate. It's going to cost me $330, $335 for the work. But I received a check in the mail for 600 and something dollars because I paid my car off. So that's paid. It's just the way, the way
The circles.
cycle of life works. We're always blessed, even when the course teaches, don't, and in the Bible, don't judge by appearances, because it might look like it's a problem. It might look like it's bad. It might look like it's a setback, but it's not. It's not. Joel Osteen, one of the Christian
Mhm.
ministers, says it's not a setback, it's a setup. It's a setup for something new and something better. So I'm looking forward to getting my computer back today with something new and something better. Um,
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that, because also, the hard drive is synonymous and metaphorically to our own mind. We got a whole lot of hard drive
Yeah.
and memory in there, right?
Mhm.
That's the hard disk.
Yeah.
And
And as
so
Lilo, she said the
beautiful.
other day, as me and Lilo, we was talking about the whole process of booking concerts and stuff. She said you need to clean your device in order to have easy access to these things to make it flow. So it's like if the
Mm,
mind is like a hard drive or a device, you need to clean it. And that's what we are doing till next Tuesday, because then it's the year of the fire horse.
that's right. We are in the last stages of cleaning. Absolutely. The shedding, the releasing of old, and the lift to let in the new. So,
and
which
that's
is
what
the
the course
now.
calls the atonement. That's the atonement. Undoing, letting unlearning, to unlearn, to and it's a good thing that we don't have to hold on to the stuff that we were taught, because it's not the fact that we were taught it. the problem came when we chose to learn it and accept it as true. And now we get to decide, what my parents said. Oh my God, mommy said whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. And today I'm like, huh? Or, but what we've been taught, we don't have to hold on to that. We have choices every moment. In fact, the Course reminds us that decisions are continuous. We are always, every moment, we are deciding on something, every moment. And right now, I'm deciding to stop talking.
We are deciding we're deciding to be the love that we are. Every moment, there is a continuous decision, a continuous prayer to be the love that we are, however that's going to look like today, tomorrow, for the rest of the week. So in the words of Jonas, as we close out this session, may we share this prayer again and again, this intention. We are a shared prayer. This is a shared prayer. All the words we speak, and as you go off walk into the world, and you go into your job, and I go onto the computer, and you go into your relationship, whatever it looks like, that prayer extends itself, right? Isabel out and about. There goes the prayer right there. Yeah. And look at that star at the top of you.
Ready to show up boldly. Look, I'm going to work.
There you go. So beautiful, Isabel.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I still have snow on the ground.
Well, I will have to.
Okay.
Yes, it's okay. Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yeah. So
Listen
yes,
to this. The temperature is going all the way up to 40 today.
Is it? Okay.
It's going up to 40. It's above freezing, so some of that'll melt. So it's all good. It's all good.
Well, we continue and extend that prayer through the cold, through the ice, all types of ice. We will extend our prayer. We will be the walking prayer. Yeah. So
the eyes
love
of
you
Christ.
all. That's it. The eyes of Christ. That's it. All right, my beautiful friends and family. I love you. Thank you for your time, for your intentions in this beautiful prayer. And anybody who comes and continues to watch us, you as well are a part of this prayer. Thank you. Much love, everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Much love. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Suma, share that thing about...
Happy Valentine's.
I will.
Love you.
Happy
Love and
Valentine's.
kindness. Happy Valentine. Love and kindness. That's what the teachers at my daughter's school call it.
What you call it? Say it again, Steph. What you say? She called it what?
That the teachers, or some teachers at the school where my daughter goes, they call it Love and Kindness Day.
I love
Happy
that.
Love and Kindness Day for all.
Yes. Oh, and now we get to make that every day. Yes.
Right? Yes. Exactly. Amen.
And make this recording available to me, Steph, please.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay. Besito. Ciao, ciao.